Hey, what's up everybody? I'm Tony Hawk and I am going undercover on the internet. It's actually me. Twitter, Chris Hagen, at CyberFreakChris, asked, Tony, what is the scariest trick you have landed? The scariest trick I ever landed was probably doing the full loop ramp because no one had ever done it completely before I tried it, and I didn't really even know if it was possible. And so when I finally got the chance, I wasn't as confident as I usually am with tricks. Boom. At Wilson006 said, yo, Tony, what's your favorite skate game you've created? Well, obviously the Tony Hawk Pro Skater series is the one I'm known for, and I would say the second one of that series is the one I'm most proud of because it was everything we wanted the first one to be, and it was also what put us on the map, like what created skateboarding as a genre of video games, and so that's the one I'm most proud of. Posted. At The Most Fun Thing says, given the incredible growth of rural skate parks, how does the industry leverage this presence into legit growth or education? That's a good question. That's pretty lofty. We try to educate people that want to get skate parks through our foundation in terms of giving kids a place to go, a sense of self-confidence, a sense of belonging, and a sense of purpose. And I think that that can help kids grow quite a bit. Posted. At Catism said, why is skateboard in Olympic Games program? It's going to kill the culture and lifestyle around the sport. When the money comes in, the respect goes out, as we say in Sweden. Well, I think that it's funny you say when the money comes in. Skateboarding is already hugely popular in a lot of countries, and professional skateboarders already have huge corporate sponsors, so the money has already come into skateboarding. I would say, if anything, it's only allowed skateboarding to grow further internationally. But at the core and the reason people skating, the culture of it, won't be affected at all. I mean, the Olympics will be another skateboard competition in that year of many, but it's also just one facet of skateboarding. There's still a whole underground group that will continue to skate, that will continue to hop fences, to hit the biggest handrails, and none of that will change. If anything, people will be more interested in that aspect once they are introduced to skateboarding through the Olympics. Reply at Ben.Watson. So Tony Hawk was supposed to do Skate Jam. Now they're doing Space Jam 2 and still no Skate Jam. Retweet for Skate Jam with Tony Hawk. That's one of those ones that got away. I mean, I don't have, my life has been incredible in terms of opportunity and success and things I never dreamed I'd get to do. Stuff like The Simpsons and stuff like doubling Will Ferrell in a movie. But I feel like Skate Jam was the one thing that got away, because that would have been super cool. Although, who knows, it could have been terrible memes for the rest of my life. Reply, Facebook. Facebook's a little more scary sometimes. I don't know why, it's a different vibe out there. Joe Kaikendall says, hero to so many, what was it like behind the scenes with the Bones Brigade? How about your time with Peralta and hanging out with Cab? I think he means Cab. It was awesome. We were a group of friends that got thrown together because we had the same sponsor. We were all roughly the same age, and suddenly we were thrust into the spotlight. All of us were skating because we loved it. Skating was not a cool thing to do. It was the furthest thing from cool that you could do in my high school. I used to have to hide my skateboard because I would get beat up, literally, bullied. Boom. Mark Allen Leibowitz says, you've probably done every trick in the book. What trick challenged you the most, Tony? The trick that I never could do that I really wanted to make on a vert ramp at some point was an ollie 720, which means you come up backwards, spin around twice on a vertical axis without grabbing the board and landing it. I just could never get that last half a turn. So that was the trick that had challenged me the most. I've stopped trying it ever since, so wah. Instagram. Here we go. Try Turtles Shauna 11 says, when you're on the ramp and you're with other people and crossing over and under each other, do you prefer to be over or under person? Or does it depend on who's out there with you? This sounds like it could have a double entendre. I am comfortable either going over or under people. It all depends on what they're planning to do under me if I'm going over them. And I'm not trying to turn this into some weird sex talk. If they're going to do something where their arms are raised up or their body is higher than the coping, then I have to reconsider what type of aerial works going over that trick. And if I know what they're going to do above me, that gives me a sense of what I can do under them. So I'm comfortable either way. It's just a matter of what trick is the choice there. Posted. Kay Majers says, what lip trick was the hardest for you to learn? There is a trick I learned about 10 years ago that I only did once, and it's basically a 360 shove it to backside lip slide. I guess you'd call it a bigger spin back lip, but it was super hard for me, and it took me hundreds of tries. I'm guessing because your question is so specific that you do skate, so you know how scary back lips can be, and to 360 shove it into back lip, super scary. A Feather Phantom. I may not know how to skateboard, but I love surfing. Tony, will you ever take up surfing? That'd be cool as hell. Actually, I have been surfing as long as I've been skating. My older brother is the one who got me into skating because he was a surfer. I'm not nearly as good at it. In fact, I'm not that confident in big waves. People say like, well, you skate these big ramps. Why don't you like to surf big waves? Because the ramps don't come crashing behind me and make me drown. That's why. Posted. IMDb. Nicknames, Birdman Grandpa. Are those my nicknames in IMDb? That's so sad. Wow. Well, Birdman, I know that's a name that ESPN bestowed onto me in the 90s, and it stuck, and now I've just come to accept it. But I'm not a grandpa yet, all right? If one of my kids has a kid, then you can call me grandpa. And you didn't spell it right anyway. And submit. Father of Riley Hawk, who helped Ashton Kutcher play a practical joke on Tony for Punk'd in 2003, the elder Hawk grounded his son for the prank. The first part of that is true. We did do Punk'd, and Riley did participate in a prank, and they kind of got me, but I started to figure it out. And I joked at the end that he was grounded. In reality, we were going to Disneyland that day, and we were taking his brothers to Disneyland, and he got to go to Disneyland. So it was the exact opposite of being grounded. He went to Disneyland that day. Boom. Reddit. What's Tony Hawk up to these days? Well, I'm doing this thing with GQ, right here, right now. That's what I'm up to. And riding my skateboard, and raising kids, and building skate parks in low-income areas. And stuff. Posted. Wikipedia. Oh man, Wikipedia is such a bummer. I've tried to change factual things in my bio, and they're like, the hoops you have to jump through to get a photo approved and then to get it accepted in the Commons, it's crazy. Like, it would be easier to falsify a passport than to make a different photo in Wikipedia. But you can write all kinds of and they'll accept it. I don't get it. It's the Wild West. I don't know, I'm gonna skip it, sorry. We're moving on to Quora. Can Tony Hawk still compete with modern pro skateboarders? I could if I wanted to. I mean, I could literally jump into a competition. Doesn't mean I would do well, but I am able to. I don't know. I think if I were to enter a vert competition, I'd be lucky to make the finals, but I'd be happy with that. Age 51, making the finals. Boom. Why is Tony Hawk considered the best skateboarder of all time? Maybe people see me as the most recognizable skateboarder, but skating is such an art form. It's so subjective. No one is the best at it. It's not a race. No one's the fastest runner. No one's the highest jumper. Skating is just so diverse and so eclectic. Not one person could be the best or represent all of it. It's just a matter of what style you like and what's your flavor. What is the most expensive car of Tony Hawk? Is that something people actually ask? Well, I have a Tesla Model 100D, so it's pricey, but it's not a Ferrari. Posted. How does Tony Hawk stay in shape? Skateboarding. Plain and simple. Chasing kids, too. As an estimate, how many hours of Tony Hawk's life has been... Sorry, I can't read it. As an estimate, how many hours of Tony Hawk's life have been spent skateboarding? Wow. That is so hard to calculate. All right, let's say, for the sake of argument, like 8 to 10 hours a week at this point would be a pretty good average through my life. So let's go 10 hours a week. I started skating 42 years ago. 10 times 52 times 42. What's that?
21,840.
All right, let's round it off. 25,000 hours. And submit. Who will be the next Tony Hawk that will push the prominence of skateboarding within pop culture? I don't think that's for me to answer, but I hope that skateboarding will continue to be recognized and will be prominent in pop culture, and that people will recognize the creativity and the positive effects it has on youth. And I can only hope that someone who reaches some sort of level of fame or recognition or prominence will want to use that voice for the good of skateboarding in general. And there are plenty of people that are doing it. I mean, I think that the most recognizable name these days is Nigel Houston. He's a powerhouse within street skating. He's an amazingly technical skater. And I hope that he can turn that sort of fame into a voice for skateboarding. But someone else could do it. I mean, it's just a matter of, you know, there's a lot of right place, right time. I'd like to think I was in the right place at the right time, but I had a lot of right place, wrong time throughout my life. I was in skateboarding, but it was not the time for skateboarding, but I never quit. Post it. Well, that was it. That was actually me. And I'm signing off now. We've reached the end of the internet.